What's going on, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is going to be the first time I'm doing this, and I want to do a lot more of it. I've got a little a refresher or teacher on the StreamYard thing, and I wanted to bring people on the show and share different stories and tactics and topics and whatnot, and also do a share the screen and stuff with that board stuff. I've got some cool things lined up to do that. And I think you're going to like it. But today, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on a guy that I've been watching for about 3 years now, highly respected by myself. And the man's got a big voice in what he does. He's good at what he does. There's certain things that I'm good at on my channel. I'm the get paid guy. I'm the work on your truck guy. I'm the fuel efficient guy. I'm, keep your truck in a hot market guy. And then you got guys out there that's the information guys. Me and him was talking here about a month ago. We met up in Dallas, and we had a conversation about something that we're going to talk about today. And he said, I'm an information nerd. He said, I will bore you with information. I said, well, that's kind of funny because I'm an information or / data nerd as far as like the data of the YouTubes or anything that I do. I like to see the data. I like to see my books with my trucking business because you get so much data after a while that data starts telling a story. So see what I'm saying? I'm going down the data nerd thing. That's what I do. But he says he's the information nerd. So I told him, I said, listen, man, there's a lot of things that I'm good at, but people come to me and they're asking questions. They're in the comments, and I don't know how to answer them because I don't know that specific area. I said, me and you do a video together. Let's, teach me how to do the StreamYard. And he did. And I said, let me see if I can push some folks to your channel and help you grow as well, because the guy's got a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he knows his deal. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Sammy. I run the channel MakeCents. And if you're new, be sure to go back through my archives of videos. I got a lot of old videos talking about how to keep the baby red Cummins engines fuel efficient and running, and keeping your truck in a hot market. I do that in the DAT board stuff. I've been trucking since the year 2000. I got my CDL as a helper on a beer run, and that turned into getting my own route. That turned into going to OTR, and then I came back home and ran local into 2013. At the end of 2013, my brother said, hey, dude, why don't we just buy a truck? We've been in the industry long enough. Why don't we buy a truck and just go, head deep in it? And I said, no, man, that's stupid, man. I am content doing what I'm doing. I'm making $50,000+ a year at my local. I wouldn't say 9 to 5. It's about like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, 5-6 days a week, hauling chicken feed in the tri-state North Georgia area. And after a few days, that seed that he planted in here started to grow. After about a week, maybe 2 weeks, I started talking to him about why it's a good idea to buy a truck, and you would have thought it was my idea, so we went and bought a truck. That was in 2013, around October, November. Done the owner-operator thing, leased on with a company called Roadrunner until into 2016. In the January, February area of 2017, I formed my authority, my own MC, and I'm still doing that to date. So that's enough about me. Let's bring on the next guy. I've been telling y'all about it. His name is Spectre. He runs the post trip, and let's bring him here and get this party started. And before I bring you in, Spectre, I'm not going to read, guys. I'm not going to pay much attention to the comments right yet. But give me a little while, and we'll do a little Q&A, stuff like that. So let me bring him in here. I got you in there, man.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
What's going on, brother? I can hear you.
Good deal, man. I appreciate you inviting me on here tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, we met up in Dallas, and you brought up a good topic, and it's like I told you, I was like, dude, have you made a video about this yet? You said no, and I was like, I mean, have you made that video yet? I don't think you have you?
No, not yet. I've been kind of waiting for this, and then kind of waiting for this, and then kind of, letting a lot of the videos that I told you I was going to start doing kind of start explaining it a little bit better.
Right.
I've talked about it. I've kind of hit on it a little bit, when I do my videos and stuff.
I've seen you hit on it a time or two in other channels. So.
But the big thing finally came out, which I messaged you about it, and I was like, I told you, I called it, where
yeah, you did.
Now you've got the actual, what I call truck makers or industry makers. They're pleading with the federal government and talking about parts,
Yeah. So what we want to talk about, guys, is don't let a $40 part put you out of business. And what I mean by that is $40 part is I went with the example of an IMAP sensor. It's a $40 part, but if that thing goes bad, your truck ain't running right. And here's how it could put you out of business. If what we experienced last year with everybody being out of work and the lack of workers in the industry or the manufacturing taking place, what if you go to get a IMAP sensor and they say, well, it's on a 6-week back order and you can't find one, and maybe your truck's not operational with it. That could put a lot of people out of business just from lack of parts. $40 part.
In a hurry. I mean, if you look at the spectrum of how everything's developed this year, last year was crap, and then you hear the talk about how the rates in the market are through the roof, and this is kind of where I took the alternate perspective. I started looking at it and noticing it even with my own trucks, with my own fleet, is that the problem now is the rates are great, but they can't make parts. They got a problem with superconductors. You've got problems with the chips and stuff that go in these trucks. You got problems with unions. Volvo just went back on strike again.
Really? I heard of that.
Yep. They got there is a huge problem with the ability for the manufacturers to make parts and then get them to us. Huge problem. You've got, I've had 2 trucks here recently that had clutches replaced, and usually that's a 2 or 3 day, repair. But it took them literally, for one truck it took a month, and the other truck it took 3 weeks because they had to order the part to get it in. They just didn't have the stuff that's regularly on order or on the stock. And even something as simple as, like you said, that map sensor. On one of my trucks, I had a coolant hose that blew out. A simple coolant hose, and walked up into the TA. They didn't have the part. They said, we can order it. Well, how long? 2 or 3 days. Oh, heck no. I had to figure out an alternate way,
Yep.
I basically had to, go in, splice it, walk down to an auto zone around the corner, and got some couplers and everything else, and we pieced it back together to where it would run. And that's the kind of thing is, the market's great, but man, these parts and then the cost of the parts, they'll sideline a driver quick now in a hurry.
Yeah, the inflation is going to take off. And I was thinking about that $40 part, and I was thinking, it's been a few years since I bought that $40 part.
Yeah.
The inflation, that might be $40, $50, $60 by now. But here's something funny. I told you in Dallas that I called the MHC here in Chattanooga, and I put an order in because they didn't have them for some shocks, put some shocks on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you, I'm pretty sure that they just forgot about it, or pass it on to the buddy system, some of their buddies. But I have yet to get the call.
Yeah.
And I don't think we got a shortage of shocks because I got some new steer tires last time I was out, and the Loves, they had plenty of shocks in stock. So I was like, all right. So MHC probably just forgot to call me.
It's a good possibility. The only way you'll find out is call them and say, hey, did you forget about me?
Right.
And I wouldn't be shocked if they turn around and say, man, we just ain't got them. Don't be shocked about it.
I bet they have them. I got to get some anyway because, like I said, I just put those new steer tires on. Oh, by the way, let me go ahead and plug this. I'm not getting paid for this or anything like that. I talked to you, Spectre, about it. And guys, let me know in the comments. I bought 2 Bridgestone Escopia tires, 284s or whatever the latest is, 14 plies. I don't know what they cost regular, but I got a corporate account, and I gave $467 a piece for those tires. So I don't know if that's good or not, but I figured I'd let you guys know. I also got it's a Chinese tire for a trailer. I will put a recap or a Chinese tire on my trailer, but it's a double nickel, I think, or double coin, something like that. Yeah. Gave $252 for that tire with this corporate account. And if you're interested in that, just Google Crown Source. Give them guys a call. It's free to join. They put a credit. You call them. They set you up. You put a credit card on file, and they give you an account number. So when you do need tires, they got a Love's account, a Love's corporate account, and a Bridgestone corporate account. So anybody that sells Bridgestones in the system, which all major truck stops, they give you these different the 2 different corporate accounts. And being on your own, that's good to have those discounts. Like I said, I don't know if $467 a tire for a steer tire is good for that Bridgestone, but I was in and out the door, mounted and balanced with the those beads that goes in them, counteracts.
Counteract.
for $1,095. So I thought it's a win.
I mean,
So I just
that's what I mean, I showed you. You've seen them. That's what I got on my. That's what I got on my hood on my Western Star all the way around. I got Bridgestones, and for the steer tires, that was about what it was. Same thing with the counteracts in them, which it was through a different dealer, but it was it was still about the same price, and I'm happy with them. I'm completely happy with them. Now the double coins, I've never used them. Never used them. You know, so I can't really comment on those. So
yeah, me neither. The last 3 tires I put on the trailer was the Advantage tires from Love, the retreads. And man, I've had those on the trailer for 2 years.
Well,
for what I paid for them, you can't beat that.
No, well, the benefit to Love's retreads, like if you didn't know this, Love's has their own retread facility. They do all their own stuff now.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do their own. They do all their own stuff now. When you walk in, we'll say if you need a tire and you know you're looking to get it on a budget or whatever, they got 2 levels of retreads. They got what they call a level A, and then they got a level B. Level A is basically a first-time retread within so many years because the sidewalls and all that got to be so within a range.
Yeah,
those come with a guarantee. Like if they blow or whatever.
Yeah, they come with a year guarantee.
Yep, you go back.
Yeah, that's how I got them.
Yeah, they'll replace them.
Let me touch on
you. Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm like you. I run those. I've got 2 trailers that I run a dedicated count that I have with those on it, and I have not had one lick of problem with those. And I've had them about a year and a half now on those trailers.
Yeah.
So good tires.
You see the Elkhorn guys coming in here, the Landstar guys, they get those. We can't compete with those discounts. But only means that $380 for a tire is a good year. 16 ply. I forgot to mention that my tires are the 24.5 low pros, so there's going to be a difference there. So I think the 22.5 is a little different. But let's get back on to the lack of parts, man. I was talking to one of my buddies, and he's got a Peterbilt Steve ride, and one of his buddies was looking to trade in his already Peterbilt Steve ride. I think it's like an 18 model into a new one. And Steve Carboni told him that, man, he said, I could take your truck in and sell it, but I can't give you nothing. And it's going to be at least at the earliest December. Now, this is 2 months ago talking to him. And he said the earliest December for one of those decked out rides. So I don't know how sure that is.
No, that's absolutely true. I mean, he's actually lucky if he's telling him December.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at everything out here. I mean, even myself, I looked at a new Freightliner. I went to go look at a new Freightliner to add to my fleet. If I was to order it today, the earliest that I could possibly expect it, they're talking of August next year. August of next year. I mean, they can't produce them. They don't have the chips. They just do not have those chips to put in to operate the trucks. They can't produce them fast enough. That is most of the problem. And then, the fact that they need the semiconductors to produce the chips, and then of course, you still got a lot of places that are operating under COVID restrictions to where, before in the plants and stuff when they make them, people used to have, could stand shoulder to shoulder and just go down the line and do what they needed to do. Well, now they can't do that. They can't do that. So a lot of these places, they've cut their manpower now, which is one of the reasons that's one of the complaints that I think it's the UAW with Volvo. They, like I said, they went on strike earlier in the year. They came back to work, and then just recently went back on strike because that's one of their complaints. They're being worked like dogs because they don't have the manpower.
Right.
I mean, and that leaves us out here, which kind of, which is something I've always talked about, is that, the rates are good, but if you can't keep the truck on the road, it does you no good. It does you no good, which is why I preach to people is you need to learn your equipment. I have the firm belief of if you can touch it, you can repair it. More than likely you can touch. If you can touch it, you can repair it, unless it's something, electronic or computer based. Obviously, you got to take it in or whatever. But more than likely, you can repair it. And I got into the habit early in the year. Once I saw what was going on, I started ordering other stuff. I mean, I've got knock sensors, I've got map sensors at the house. I've got common things that you would think of that may or may not go out. To where if something does start giving me an issue, all I got to do is when I get to the house, a couple turns of the wrench, I replace it, plug and play, and I'm back on the road. So,
yeah, same for me. It reminded me. I came home right before the 4th, and I forgot all about it. But on my way home, I called my shop down there and talked to them about ordering me a new air compressor. I've got concerned with my air compressors. Anybody know air compressor on a Cummins is just loud and clangy already, but I've got 785,000 miles on my Cummins, and I'm thinking I need to go ahead and order that. So I called and talked to Haggai and or Katie and told her. I think it was Sunday I talked to her. I was supposed to call her back Monday, but then I got home and I forgot all about it. So Allison, if you're watching this, let your sister know I will call her back and get that ordered. But I was thinking the same thing. Go ahead and, at 785,000 miles, go ahead and change out that air compressor.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what they cost. I think they're $800-900.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say screw it and not do it. In 3 months from now, that thing go out and they say, well, they're on back order for 3 months. Now I'm out of work for 3 months.
Exactly.
Then you're gonna see me on YouTube every day talking about I need some money, guys.
Right. Well, then you got that, and then of course, if you haven't noticed, labor rates have gone up too.
Yeah.
TAs and Petros, they were charging anywhere from $125 to $150 an hour. Now they're up. A lot of
Right.
places are up at $200 and above for you just to sit there and wait.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess the words that I've used is, yeah, we're living in a dream that can quickly turn to a nightmare for any owner operator out here. It really can.
Yeah.
And it could come down to the simplest little part that they can't get hold of. And I saw one of the questions
Mhm.
somebody asked is like, what is it about these chips that can't make these trucks run? Well, what the chips are is, if you look at any of the newer trucks, they've got the main ECM, and then you've got all the other subcomponent computers in them. Those chips are what relays all this stuff. That's what the communications go through with these newer trucks. And it is what it is. I mean, it's something that we can't fight. That's the way they designed them. Um, and that's why it's good to be able to wrench on your own stuff if you need to.
Yeah. That's why I love me a Cummins, man. I know how to do everything on that motor just about that I've got the tools for. If I need to start jerking the head off of it, I don't have. Well, I mean, I guess I could take my father-in-law's and use his forklift, but
Right.
But most of the stuff that we can do as a owner on the road, I'm like you. If I can fix it, I'm going to fix it.
Yep.
I mean, I've torn my engine apart before, extracting the manifold bolts, extracting those, having the turbo sitting off the side, drain the coolant. My father-in-law looking at me like, "You sure this is going to be okay? Is it going to run?" I'm like, "I don't know, but this is what my guy tells me to do."
Right.
I put it back together and it still ran, so
Yeah.
it's doable.
Yeah. I mean, it's gone from, I keep like you. For this truck, I've got a extra starter, alternator, and a turbo in the side box of this truck.
Yeah.
And to me, those are the three big things that can go out. If something else goes out beyond that, then hey, time to I can fix it. I'll fix it, or if I can't do it, then so be it.
Yeah.
But my Freightliner at the house, I've got all the extra sensors if I need it. And most of that stuff, if I can repair it on the side of the road, same thing. I'll jump up on the truck and start wrenching on it. Because, dude,
Absolutely.
I mean, man, when you go check in at any TA shop nowadays and just check in and see what you're going to be waiting. You're liable to be there anywhere from 2 to whenever they decide to get to you. And then the labor rate alone, the labor rate just to get it evaluated. And then the dealerships now, they're either backed up because they can't get the parts, so they're playing catch up, or they just don't have the manpower. They're on limited hours still.
Yeah. Well, let me share something. I got this from Loshawn Parks a few years ago. I heard him say it, and I thought, man, I've never thought of that. Never heard anybody say it, but he hit it right on the head. He said, you got Swift, and no shade at Swift. They're a great company to start at. You got Swift, Snyder, JB, all these starter companies out there, and they put you through school, put you in the truck, get your experience and all that stuff. But that's a starter company. Mm-hmm. He said, when you get to Freightliners, TAs, I'm just going to say Freightliners and dealerships, those are usually the fresh mechanics out of school. They're starters. They're just still trying to get their experience, get their numbers up there. He said the real good mechanics is the ones that went on and started their own thing, and I 100% agree with that, because I mess with a dealership just to buy my parts. Here's a good example, and this is a pro tip for all you guys. If you need batteries, do not go into TA Petros. This is kind of like, a reversal here, a caveat. Don't go into TA Petros. You go into TA Petro and get a battery. They're going to charge you $140, $150, $160 for an interstate battery. Or you can go to a Freightliner dealership and get not the same batteries, but you can get like the batteries that come in the truck for like 60 and $70. Don't buy them at a truck stop. Go to the dealership for that.
Yeah, I
And
mean, for my batteries, I'll even go as far as I'll go to like O'Reilly's or AutoZone,
yeah,
and I get the same battery, but it's got the deeper cold crank amps, and
uh-huh.
it's a little bit cheaper, and I get the deeper crank for because I like to run in the snow. So,
Yeah,
um, that means it serves just as good, and you save a couple more bucks.
absolutely. Oh, Conway's in here. Just trucking.
Absolutely.
What's going on, brother? Rogue, I see you in here, man. And Aaron, just trucking, sent me. Nice to have you, man. Justin, appreciate you sending me you guys. I seen you as live a little while ago, and I told the wife, I said, "Damn, Justin got over 900 people in there." I said, "I can't compete with that." She
Well,
said, "Nope, he done left you boys behind."
well, he done hit that 100K mark, so
Yeah,
congratulations to him and the wife on that one.
yeah, he's a hustler, man. He goes after it. And I had somebody ask me the other day. They was asking me about him, and they said, "Does he still run the truck?" I said, "Yeah, full time." So he's doing both. I'm like, "Yeah, the boy's got ambition." I
Yeah,
was like, "I
exactly.
ain't got that kind of drive no more."
Yeah.
I'm just taking it easy nowadays, but got a hats off to Justin, man. He really worked hard for what he's got.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah, Justin, this is the Western Star, man. This sleeper was been it's been stripped down, so I'm gonna put some custom cabinets in it, and I don't need much other than that. So it's I love this truck. I told
I love
Sammy, I
that
was like,
truck.
yeah, yeah. Well, Sammy's seen it. I told him, I was like, I'll probably never drive my Freightliner again if I don't have to. So
Yeah, that's a nice ride you got there. I like it.
yep.
That long wheelbase.
Oh yeah.
It looks longer than mine, but I think we came up. It was
About a
shorter.
foot shorter. About a foot shorter. A little bit short. I think yours is like a 280. Mine's a 274. So
Yeah, but yours looks
um,
longer than mine. I don't
it
know what
does
I
look
guess
longer.
those long ass tanks. I
Yeah,
don't know, but yeah, yours looks. It's a fine ride, man. I like it.
I appreciate it.
And
Appreciate it.
I got a question while I got you on the hook. I have a lot of people, and I said in the beginning of my video, I said, there's things that I'm good at and there's things that I'm not. A
Mhm.
lot of information stuff, I'm not. Like a lot of stuff I hire out, for my authority. I didn't feel I needed to know how to do my authority because I was going to do it once. Why waste my time? I figured I had enough on my plate as a whole to go as an owner operator to an MC with no
Right.
mentorship. I was like, I don't think I need to know how to file my authority. I mean, some people says, it makes them feel good, and I get it. But doing it once, I didn't feel I needed to do it. I needed to learn how to fill out carrier packs, set up different arrangements for quick pay, learning how to use a fax machine, learning how to invoice. Man, I didn't know how to invoice until I had to.
Right.
But information stuff is what I don't know, because if I feel I don't need to use it other than once or twice, I'm not going to waste my time. And I
Mhm.
have a lot of people asking me about the AB5. Do you
Okay.
want to touch on the AB5, and maybe I can
Yeah.
just add it to the title after we cut this?
Yeah. Well, the AB5, number one, it's a law that was passed out of California, and I'll kind of give a little background as I go through it. But um, it was a law passed out of California that came off of the multi, like there were two. I can't remember the exact presiding case, but it deals with classification of employees versus contractor.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, the trucking industry, along with a lot of other industries, we had the Supreme Court in the Ninth District out there. They put like a stay on it to where it did not affect us. We were exempt from it up until this year, where the California government and the actual unions got around that, and the judge said no, it's completely constitutional and they will be affected. So now it's back in play. All right, so it's
Yeah.
alive, it's well. It's currently awaiting to be heard in the Supreme Court. Now everybody knows that the Supreme Court doesn't necessarily have to hear it. So the kind of the state that we're in right now in the trucking industry is that everybody says that it's the end of the lease operator, it's the end of the independent contractor, it's the end of the owner operator if you're leased on to somebody with an authority or anybody else. That's
Mm-hmm.
not true. All right, with the reality, the way that what everybody's afraid of is it's a three-prong test, the A, B, and a C part, like three-step test. The part that
Right.
everybody's afraid of is the B part, okay, where the language that's used, it says the individual cannot do the same as the carrier or the parent company does. And the key word in that is individual. All right. The way to get around it and the way to make yourself legal and be able to prosper is to turn yourself from a sole proprietor into an actual LLC. And to further that, you can make your, claim a S corporation or even a C corp, whatever you want to fit your business structure.
Right.
It's not the death of owner operators. It's not the death of, ICs. What it's the death of is it's the death of the sole proprietor if you're working for somebody else, is what it is. They're forcing people to become actual business entities in order to do that. That's what it is. So either you actually become a business entity, or you become a W-2 employee. It's just simple as that.
Yeah. I never really understand a sole proprietor anyway. I mean, it's basically the same thing as the LLC. It's just.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody is a sole proprietor. Even my 3-year-old now grandson, who runs around out in the yard, and I pay him with cookies and chocolate milk at the end of the day is a sole proprietor.
Yep.
And then what people don't realize is when they become an LLC, if they stay a single member LLC, you're still going to get taxed as a sole proprietor at that rate. So go ahead and take the S corporation or C corp, depending on what tax benefit you want. Like for me, with the S corp and the LLC, it's a savings of anywhere of $9,000 to $12,000 in tax revenue. Plus, I'm completely separated from my company. My company is a living, breathing entity on its own. I am an employee of my company. The contractors that I hire on, I do not hire them on as individuals. And nowhere in my contract does it say me and Spartan Direct and Sammy MakeCents, Sammy are doing business. It's Spartan Direct and Lloyd Trucking LLC. You know what I'm saying? There's nowhere name of an individual other than you're signing the paperwork as the owner of that company for the company. You create a complete business-to-business relationship. So that FUD, that fear, all that stuff that everybody's spreading, all it's doing is forcing people to either do it right and become an actual business entity, or just get the hell out of it and you're going to work for somebody else.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, all you got to do is just form an LLC or an S corp.
Yep.
That's easy.
Yep.
And I need to talk with you. Hashtag help me Spectre on getting away from my LLC and forming an S corp, because
it's an easy form, man. If you got an accountant, all you got to do is call your accountant.
Yeah,
tell them what you want to do, and
very soon.
One form. Yep, one form.
Very soon. I remember I heard Kevin Rutherford say a long time ago, as long as you're under about 65,000 net per year, stay in LLC. But once you surpass that, that's the time to really start looking and becoming a corporation for the tax benefit.
Exactly. Well,
so it's getting there.
And this is where I see you're trying to get me into that nerd mode, is what you're doing.
That's what I said in the beginning of the video, man. You know the stuff.
I do it because I have to help my other contractors, to help my contractors, to help their businesses. Plus, I need to protect myself as well. But what it does is you're right. When you're about $50,000 to $65,000 is when you want to consider going to the S corp, because what's going to happen is if you're making all this money and you're taking home that amount, that 50, 65 grand, it throws a red flag up to the IRS, and they're going to say, where's all this money at? How do they have all these write-offs? We're going to audit them. Well, like for instance, what happened with me is my accountant last year actually called me and gave me no option. They said, you are switching to a S corp. We're switching you. We'll send you the paperwork. You sign it. We'll submit it. And the reason for that is because I was making so much money versus my write-offs that it was going to save me money in my tax liability, but plus it was going to prevent the IRS audit, which no big deal. Everything's legal, everything's legit, but it just eliminates that pain in the rear end of having, Uncle Sam get into your business. And that's what it does, as well as what it does. What it also did is when you become an S corp, and I'm only speaking on S corp because that's what I am. When you become an S corp, basically you, the individual, me, James Rogers, I became a W-2 employee for Spartan Direct, which put me on a salary, which further created another business write-off, because I could write off my complete salary at the end of the year for Spartan Direct. And it made Spartan Direct a complete living, breathing entity of its own, no different than Swift, Prime, Crete, Walmart, any of these bigger guys. That's all they are. They are LLCs who are either an S corp or a C corp, depending on what they do.
Hold on, Tito. I ain't seen your name in a long time, brother. We need to meet back up in Savannah. I need some more of those cookies. I met up with this guy down there in Savannah, and he brought me some cookies from someplace down there. And let me tell you, man, you can take a little bit of that cookie, wipe it on that eyebrow, and your tongue and beat your brains out trying to get to it. That stuff was good.
Mm-hmm.
But Blue Links, hold on just a minute. You said you're one form away from it. Blue Link said up here. He said you don't get away from your LLC. Just simply file one form with the IRS to elect S corp or technically subchapter S corp status.
Yep.
So yeah, I do that because I'm cool with being an LLC. It ain't.
Yeah. Well,
it
if
ain't
you look
thing about it with me, I don't plan on hiring people on yet anyway. I mean, I don't know if I ever will.
Well, it gets to a point of when you're generating so much income, it gives you a buffer. It's another layer of protection, and then it creates that tax benefit as well as what it does.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. It's nothing more than filing one form. I mean, you talk to your accountant, it's one form, you sign it, they submit it, the IRS will recognize you, they send you back the document that says you are now officially an S corp, blah 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 blah. And that's it. And it's just a way to. That's the way to get around this AB5. And the AB5 is not going to kill the trucking industry. What's going to kill is the people that do not want to. Basically, what they realize is there's a lot of people out here who are sole proprietors. They still don't file their taxes. They really don't. And that's what they're doing is they're forcing them to become businesses to where they can track this stuff. So, yeah. Give me a second. I got to plug my phone in.
All right. Plug that thing in. I don't want your battery going down.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to talk about? You want to talk about how many trucks you got now?
6.
6 trucks, and you still out here working like a madman.
I am, man. That's that veteran that's in me still. I believe in that's that old NCO from when I retired. I believe that I'm still at the size where I can get out here and grind with my guys. I don't believe in asking them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. Yeah. So you
always lead in front, man. You can't
exactly.
Exactly right. It's like pulling your team with a rope. You can't push a rope, but you can pull them.
Exactly right. I mean, I got some great contractors. I got some great contractors that have their own small businesses that work with me, and we support each other. But like I said, I see them out here running, so I'm gonna get out here because I've told them. I tell everyone when we do the paperwork and we go into partnership together is like, hey, you may outgross me, you may earn more than me, but you will never work harder than me, and that's what I believe in. So.
Yeah, I don't think my wife understands what we do out there because I go to work and I'll be gone for a couple of days or a week or two, and then I come home and I sit right in there on that couch, and she'll be cleaning or something, and she'll come through and she'll huff. She'll come through 5 minutes later, she'll huff again. And I'm like, babe, what's up? She's like, well, I just think if I'm up doing something, you need to be doing something. And I'm like, woman, I just got home. Said, right. She's like, well, you're not doing anything now. And I'm like, but when I'm in that truck, from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we're working.
Yeah.
It's anywhere from 14 to 16-hour days. And I think she understands now, but it was always fun. It's cute to see her huff.
Yeah. Well,
if I'm doing something, you need to do something.
Yeah. My wife's the same way, man. Like, she didn't fully understand it, and me being a fleet owner and do what I do, even the back office and stuff like that for the road and everything. I took her out on the road with me for like a week. And I let her see it. I mean, for me, my days are usually from sun up, sundown to when brokers or whoever start beating my phone up to if I get a call from one of my guys in the middle of the night or I'm trying to help somebody if they need some help finding a load. Because I also run team trucks. So I'm bouncing team freight around a little bit.
That'll keep you busy right there.
Oh, yeah. So, and then along with that, I'm fielding phone calls and I'm driving my own truck, trying to find my own freight to keep me moving around when I'm ready to move around. I shut the key down, I'll go shower, eat, and I come back to the truck, and then it's another 3 to 4 hours of paperwork and, payroll, or if it's the end of the quarter, I got IFTA, insurance renewals, and then, of course, doing my nerd sessions so I can keep up with what's changing on a daily basis to relay to the other guys and stuff. And by the time I'm done, it's like a 18-hour day, So when she saw that, she got a pretty good understanding to say, wow, now I get it.
Well, my wife said, she's like, I understand. She commented, she's like, I understand. I'm just lazy and I'm maybe a little spoiled. But I've seen another comment up here talking about insurance. The last 2 years, people's insurance, and not even talking about the $2 million policy, but the last 2 years, a lot of people's insurances went up. With the company I'm with, it's went down. I like that. Do you know anything about how much it's going to cost you with the $2 million policy?
I'm getting ready to find out. I can tell you this. I'm getting ready to find out for sure because I'm in my renewal period, and I did tell my agent that I want to get ahead of the game if this does pass to get that $2 million quote, and if it's looking like it's going to pass, then get it before they make it mandatory. I know when it first came up in discussion, I asked about it last year, and it wasn't too bad. It was about $1,500, about
15.
1,500, yeah, about $1,500. But it's just like anything else in this industry. It's affordable and cheap before they make it mandatory. But as soon as they make it mandatory,
Yeah, it's going to go up.
they're going to hammer us. And I honestly I can see it putting a lot of guys out because there's a lot of people, and I don't want to say anything bad because I don't know how you feel about them, but there's a lot of people that go with OIDAS insurance. They go with the minimum, the 750K. That is going to be the people that it puts a hurting on is if they mandate the 2 million, the people that are stuck at that 750,000, then they got to jump up to the 2 million. That's who it's really going to hurt. For me, I've got the million. I've run loads where I need to get the $2 million waiver to haul other freight, 250, so on and so on. But it's going to be those people with the 750 or what I call the minimalists to do it. And honestly, I can't say that I'm not too mad about it because I've been through situations where, and I've seen it out here where there's drivers that just don't care. So how do you weed out those people that just don't care and who are, driving erratic on the road, got their feet up on the dash, just an accident waiting to happen.
We see it all the time, man.
Yeah, it's like one way I get that it's going to really affect smaller carriers, but on the other hand, I'm like, do we really need them out here?
No, I'm like you. I don't understand that. I mean, I'm reckless with a lot of things, but at the same time, I'm very passionate about what I do. And trucking is. I read a quote a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago. It says, "How you do anything is how you do everything." If you've got the standard to not skim on the little things, like making your bed. I mean, don't say that. I can't say that around here because I really don't do it at home. But in the bed, in the truck, I make the bed. I do all the little tedious little things because I got that standard. I do it with passion. But it also, those little tedious things follow onto the big stuff that I won't let slide. Yeah. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So I do everything with passion and the right way to the best of my ability. When I see people that's just basically half-assing it, I'm like you. I'm like, do they really need to be out here? And it's only a matter of time because, the bad apples always weed themselves out. So I don't know how it's going to affect. I'm not a big fan of OIDA. They preached a lot of things to help us as an industry, and it was just empty words. So I don't think a lot about OIDA. I'm not a member, but I will say this: when I first formed my authority, they gave me a quote of $980 a month for insurance, and I was covering $80,000 on my truck because that's what I financed, where I bought it for, and $20,000 on my trailer, so $100,000. And I think it might have been $750 in the basics just to get my insurance going. And it's going to be $980 something a month, but it wasn't A-rated. And I had the big dream. I'm going to hire people. I'm going to do all the things. And then, the number one thing was I had friends that was at Landstar and they was BCOs, and I seen those rate cons. I seen what they was making. And I thought, man, I'm going to go in there as a carrier and I'm going to get this top dollar, You'll get 65% or 72 or 75 or whatever, however it is, but I'm going to get 100% of that. And then OIDA said, Landstar is our number one broker we don't work with. I said, well, that ain't going to work. So I shot my stuff out somewhere else. But then I got out in the real world and I found out that just because Landstar BCOs are getting 65% of shipping rate, what I found out as an authorized carrier, I was just going at shipping rate or not shipping rate, but carrier rate, which leveled out to about 100 plus or $100 or so that the BCOs was making. So I was like, man, my dreams are shot. I thought I was going to do this. And what happened was that wasn't the case. So with that being said, starting out, if you don't have plans of growing, I'm not opposed to going to OIDA call for the cheap insurance. But year number two, get on with somebody that's got some actual insurance.
Yeah. Well, I'm like you. I'm not opposed to it either. And I hold the same. I have the same thoughts about OIDA as well as this. That they've said a lot of things, but it's all been empty words. And I canceled my membership a year ago when they kind of flopped on us with the whole, the union companies getting all the COVID support and all that good stuff. But that's another story for another day. But what a lot of people don't realize about their insurance now is not rated at all. It doesn't hold a
Really?
B rating. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
wow.
rated. Yeah, it's not rated at all. Now there are a lot of the bigger brokers will still work with you, but what a
Hmm.
lot of people are going to find is that when they start reaching out to the smaller ones, like say like a Ryan Transport or a BNSF and stuff like that,
Hmm.
they really won't work with them. They don't like to work with them, and I'm not going to sit here and say that if you need to go that route to get insurance, go for it. But I would plan on trying to get away from them, that for end of that first year, if not sooner,
Right.
as soon as you can. So, I mean, it's all about nickels and dimes at that point.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's Allison. Hey, Allison. I was talking about you about 15 minutes ago. You're gonna have to rewatch it if you didn't catch it. And yeah, you can click out of it.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Blue
that's
Links
what I do.
something right there. He said, these days you can get sued for about anything. You're better off having a minimum 2 or 3 million coverage at least, maybe
He's
even
right.
more.
He's right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an incident I'm going through right now. I had a drunk driver that ran one of my contractors off the road, and we're going through that rigmarole with that insurance. And I actually did. I wrote a letter to my state senator, both of them, one to Roy Blunt, the other one to Josh Hawley, about the incident and with the discussion of the insurance. I said, as a carrier, I don't have an issue with the rate going up. I get it. I understand why they're doing it, but I think we also need to look at increasing the limit on personal vehicles as well, because with the damage that was caused to my equipment, the truck, the cargo, and stuff like that, there's no
Yeah.
way that this individual's limits are gonna cover it. No way in hell. No way. I
Yeah.
mean,
You
there's
see,
no way.
that's a big concern with me. I mean, it didn't really affect me when I first became an owner operator. I wasn't. I was cool with being a sole proprietor because I really didn't have assets.
Yeah.
And as I built myself up, and then I formed the authority, and then I got the house and the truck, and I've got equity in all of this. I'm like, if I was to mess up now, man, they could take my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a scary thought, man. That's really a scary thought. And if you've got assets, you got to put that stuff. You got to be real cautious and cover it. Cover
Exactly.
your
Well, it's all
somebody
it
will
comes
take your stuff.
Yeah, it comes back to how you want to set it up. I mean,
Yeah.
everything, all my equipment, like my two trucks and everything, they're in my business name. They're not in my name. I got them out of my name. Obviously, all my personal stuff and everything's in my name to protect it. So that's where it's so important to. And one of the things that I preach about is that's why it's so important to get to that LLC, eventually to the S corp or C corp, because you separate it. Like you want to separate yourself completely. Completely. I mean, people could sue Jeff Bezos all day long. Do
Yeah.
you think they're going to touch anything with the name Amazon on it? No. They
Nope.
could sue Amazon all day long. Do you think that they're going to touch anything of Jeff Bezos? No, not unless they take a civil suit. Two completely different things, but in either regard, you've got to protect your assets, and that's how it comes down
Yeah.
to how you set your business up from the get-go with that foundation.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Blue Links is right. I think when we start talking about 2 million, might as well go ahead and bump it up. And I seen somebody already talked to their agent, and they said about $500 more per year. If it's
That's
only
not bad.
$500 more per year, might as well go with 3 million just to
Exactly.
cover my ass.
Yeah.
Because I hate to go out there and run over somebody, and they take my house and my truck and my trailer, and now I'm just shit out of luck. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, let's start over again.
Well, look
I don't want to do that.
Well, the latest big case that we've had that kind of involved any kind of insurance deal was that old boy, was it 2 years ago, that come down Vale that killed all them people. $750,000 is what that carrier had in insurance. Do you
Oh
think
wow, you're screwed.
do you think that compensated anybody?
Or what about that bridge in Georgia down on I-16
Yeah.
that got hit by the end dump the other day?
Yep.
Moved that bridge, what, 6 foot? The bridge is coming down. That's
Yep.
more than $1 million bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Life
So
is good in the room.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go after that
Big
company.
Life is good drench. I don't like him.
Yeah. They're gonna they're gonna have to go after that company on a civil suit because their insurance limit won't cover it. There's no way.
No, dude, you talking about a bridge. I mean, I don't know how long it is. I'm just going to guesstimate 100-foot section.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than any of us carry. I mean,
Well, you
seriously.
got to think. We'll just think. That's over $1 million in materials alone. Then you talk about bringing in equipment, the labor,
Yeah,
and all that stuff to repair it. Now you're looking at probably about a $5 to $6 million job.
yeah, it's insane. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane. Oh, quit crying, Tim. You know I love you, man.
People really care about the wrenches.
Spectre, is there anything else you want to talk about, brother? You want to,
No,
or any,
I'm
got
good.
any questions
I
for
mean,
the
I
for the
mean, I'm
info
good.
man?
I'm good unless anybody's got questions for me, man. I'll answer some questions and stuff. Like I was saying, I mean, the last 2 days I've been wrenching on trucks in the Missouri humidity, so I'm about half dehydrated here. So
Yeah, I called him. I said, "Hey, you want to do this video tonight?" He said, "Yeah, give me a while. I got to pull over and I'm gonna drink about a gallon of fluids because I'm about dehydrated."
yeah, well, I'm bad, man. It was bad yesterday. I got a video. I'm working on a video. I actually filmed it. Like I said, I tore the whole firewall pretty much apart, and I replaced all that. So that's the kind of videos I'm gonna start doing too. That'll fall up under the post trip name, and then of course,
Right.
I've got that new podcast that I'm working on slowly, where it's not necessary. It's gonna have trucking info in it as well, but it's just going with a discussion. If it gets on business, that's where it goes. So
Can we talk about
I'm just,
aliens?
huh?
Can we talk about aliens?
Yeah.
We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about.
You believe in Bigfoot?
Do I believe in Bigfoot? I've been claimed to be the Bigfoot. So
You're a big old boy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
walk up, he's like up here. I was like, "Damn, you a big man."
yeah.
How much are you?
I mean,
Oh, you like 7'6"?
no, 6'5". That's it, about 6'5". Yep.
I'm just kidding. You and
I'm
Justin,
starting to get
y'all some tall cats. Y'all some big old boys.
I'm starting to get wider than I am tall now. So that's what this truck will do to
Same
you.
here, man. Same here.
Me
And
too.
everybody keeps telling me, "Man, you putting on weight," and I'm like, "I know. Shut up."
I
But
know, right?
it happens.
But yeah, yes, I do. I got BB Transport. I do have 6 trucks. Why do I truck? Well, I mean, maybe that's something I didn't tell. I didn't tell about my past or how I kind of came back into the industry.
Yeah,
Um,
you want to put on that, man? It's
I'm
inspiration,
a
dude. I love it.
yeah. I'm a medically retired veteran. I came back I got discharged, medically retired out of the military in 2013 from a IED explosion, or not IED, but a rocket propelled grenade injury. I just couldn't do it anymore, and PTSD. So I got out, and I went through 2 years, and so to speak, I was that statistic. Okay, I was that vet you always hear about that the VA was just shoving opioids down my throat, man. I mean, I legitimately broke my back in the injury. They never caught it. I went back into the fight, and the way I was surviving for years was on painkillers, whatever they would give me. And it just got to a point where it was so bad I could barely walk. At one point in time, I had a walker, I had a walker and a cane, um, and I physically couldn't do it. So they medically retired me. And then the VA's way to treat it, obviously, was they kept giving me different pills to treat it. And then they'd say, well, we're going to give you this pill to treat the side effects of that pill. And, it turned into I was taking like almost 50 pills a day. But
Jesus.
yeah, but the thing that got me was the opioids is that um, I just kept getting bad. I got real bad. I mean, I was that statistic. I mean, if I was taking a 90-day supply in like a matter of weeks. If I ran out, I would legitimately go to my local emergency room, and I only
Hmm.
had to say 3 words, which was disabled veteran, VA, and I hurt. And they would give
Yeah.
me more. They'd hook me up to morphine, Dilaudid, or and then they'd give me more.
Yeah.
That's just the honest to God truth of it. But I hit rock bottom one day. My wife had walked in on me in the bathroom with a 40 caliber pistol, um, and I knew at that point that something. That's when I realized something in my life was missing. That's why I was doing what I was doing. Something was missing, and what it was that missing that bigger picture of servitude. Serving the country, because I loved it. I loved the military. I loved serving the country. My country. I loved
Hmm.
being with the people that I was around. All that stuff. So I got back into trucking. I went to Prime. I was there about a year, and I was awarded a truck from Progressive Commercial Insurance and St. Christopher's Fund as a veteran rookie driver. Um, and along with that, they helped me springboard my own authority, and they hooked me up with a couple mentors. And I had a big learning curve, obviously. And
Right.
here I am today, going on 3 years in business, almost four, going from one truck where a lot of people give me shit and they say, oh, well, you were given a truck. Yeah, but I took that one truck and I've paid it forward. You know, I've bought
Yeah.
3 and 4 other trucks that I've helped other people start their businesses, and
Mhm.
here I am, 6 trucks now. And and honestly, to answer that question, I love what I do. I love
Yeah.
sitting behind the wheel of this truck, looking out that windshield, and knowing that I've served my country and been in some of the shittiest of shitty places around this country world, that nobody knows any different going down the road, other than the fact of they don't know what I got in my trailer. I could be hauling medical supplies, I could be hauling food, I
Yeah.
could be hauling car parts, you know, and it's that
You can
little
call
piece
anything.
of servitude. Yeah, 'cause that little piece of servitude to know that I'm helping your family get through life right here.
Yeah.
And it's just as simple as that. I just love what I do.
Yeah. I read a long time ago. Um, the fastest way to happiness is lose yourself in the service of others.
Yep.
And it's right. It's true. It gives you fulfillment. You
Mhm.
know, I started my channel just to help people. You know what I'm saying? And me and you talked about that, and you do the same thing. And it's just once you get in that servitude atmosphere, you don't ever leave. So I
Yeah.
mean, you're even though you're not in the military anymore, but you're still in the space where you could
Yep.
pay it forward.
Yeah,
So
I did it. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I said even the day that I was awarded the truck and everything, I said it that this is not about me. You know, it's no longer about me. I still do.
Mhm.
My goal. I don't feel like I deserved what they awarded me with. I don't. I'm humbled by it. Every day I think about it, I'm very humbled by it. And
I
I've
would
said
be
that,
too,
and
man.
yeah,
Pretty
and I've
awesome.
said that I'm gonna pay it back. And I have not gotten anywhere near that, and I do. I mean, people call me all the time. Unless I'm knocked out sleeping, I generally will answer my phone. If not, I call you right back. I
Yep.
try to give the best advice I can and help people. And if I don't have the answer, I'll go digging for it. That's where that nerd comes in. You know, I'll go digging for it, or I'll say, hey, I don't know it, but reach out to so and so, they may know it.
Same here.
So yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it is. It's that servitude. It's that
Mhm.
servitude. I enjoy it. I just do. I enjoy helping people.
So
I don't. I don't.
what's the future have for you?
What's the future have for me?
Yeah.
I don't like to put a cap on my future. You know. Um,
You gotta have goals, man. And by the way, KB, what's up, brother? Long
well,
time no talk,
okay.
man.
All right. Well, I'll say this right here. Here's my goal, and this may be me being a little boisterous in my goal, but it's my goal. I
Yeah.
want to be the undisputed best small carrier in this damn industry. I want to become a permanent thorn in the side of mega carriers when the shit hits
Yeah.
the fan. Because I mean, and the reason I say that is I learned a lesson last year during the pandemic, right? And I think we've actually talked about this briefly, but last year during the pandemic, we started getting calls from multiple brokers and places, shippers out of the Midwest, because they got word of, you know, that I had trucks available. And we
Hmm.
did, man. We were running. They couldn't. The mega carriers could not keep up with us moving medical supplies between St. Louis to Utah, out to Salt Lake, and up to Washington, the Seattle area. And that's what I want to be. I want to be the undisputed best small carrier in the industry, to become a permanent thorn in these guys' asses until I can get to the size where I can compete with them. I'm either going to
Yeah.
force them to buy me out, or I'm just going to catch. I'm just going to run over them.
Yeah. You can be like Taylor's down here in Cartersville,
Yep.
Taylor's Transportation. Every driver I know there is top notch, man. You give
Yep.
them a run, they're gone,
Yep.
and this is sure there. You give it to one of the mega carriers, you know that driver, he's just half-assing. He's got to stop and eat, and
Yeah.
kick his dog around. But the top notch carrier is already there, and that's what you're wanting to build. I get it, man. I
Yep.
dig it.
Yeah, I do. And as far as number, everybody's asked me how big do I want to get. That right there, I definitely will never put a cap on. You know, that's whatever's in my stars, whatever's destined. Um, and here recently, that my business is actually going to start turning into a family business now, because my son has recently decided to get into the industry. So
Nice.
I'm sending him. I sent him over to Prime to get his training and all that good stuff, because I firmly believe that's where I started, and I believe Prime's got the best training program in the industry. I really do. And then once he gets his time in, he's ready to go. If he's ready to come over here and work with Dad, then here we go.
Yeah. I'm still fulfilling my dream I said about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And I made a video about it, about semi-retirement. And that touched hard in my heart. And I was like, since I was 16 years old, I've just been working. And then just nonstop. I'm that guy, just 60 hours a week before I win OTR. And it's just always more and more and more work. And then I went into the poultry business, and we didn't really go by hours. We wrote our time in, and we basically wrote in 60. But we do a lot more than that. And then I put myself through college in 09 through 12 with HVAC-R degree. I mean, I was gone a lot. And when I got back into OTR stuff as an owner operator, I set that go and I got to crunching numbers. Like I said, that's the nerd in me. I'm a data geek. Yeah. Started crunching numbers on my home bills versus what I'm grossing, what I'm netting, what I'm turning, tweak this, tweak that. And I came to the realization, I was like, dude, even when I was at Roadrunner, if my truck would have been paid for, my trailer would have been paid for, I could go to California one time a month. That one time a month, I'm going to knock out $6,500. I was going to get around $5,000 or $6,000 because that T660 I had, man, I'd go across country, especially with the discounts and stuff and high MPGs.
Man,
one trip was all I'd need. I thought, man, I could work 1 week a month for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to get this damn truck paid for. I mean, that goal set in my heart until it became a realization, and I believed it. And it came to pass. My truck's still not paid for, but my payments aren't that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's time to set another goal.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're preaching, dude. You're preaching a discussion that goes on. That's been probably going on since before me and you were born, about where people talk about, older equipment that's paid off and operating still at a high level versus everybody that wants to go out and get a new truck right off the bat.
Oh no, that's the worst I do.
I mean, the world of change when you pay your equipment off and knowing what you can operate at, which is pretty much pennies on the dollar versus what you're earning, is a game changer for any small business.
Yeah,
it really is.
Anybody asks me, they say, Sammy, I'm thinking about buying a new truck, and I'm like, all right, what kind of equity are you going in with? What kind of down payment? Well, nothing. I'm like, how do you feel running the next 5 years of your life hardcore without a lot of home time? And then I'm like, well, if I do this and do this, I figured out this on paper. And I'm like, never go with what you figure out on paper. What you figure out on paper and what life really deals you is two totally different things.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to go, if you're comfortable with 5 years of dedication, which is cool, you could start from a truck with low miles. And I say low, like 100 miles. They got to get them there. And 5 years later, you got a truck that's paid for. It's got 350,000 miles on it, and you've got the note on it.
Yep.
Or the title on it. That's awesome. That's awesome. I didn't want to do that. But if somebody's got that drive, I mean, let's ask for a year, stack your account up, and then cruise, because you still got that big account base stacked up. But starting out with a new truck, man, it wasn't for me.
A lot of people say, like for instance, like they say now, oh, it's easy in this market. Yeah, it's easy in this market. Now wait till the market settles down and it goes back, and then let's see, it goes back to that saying from, Days of Thunder, that Rowdy told Cole Trickle, he said, now get your own car and get in the pack and let's see how you do. Let the market settle down and let's see how you do.
Well, everybody talks about 2019. Well, I experienced 2015 as an owner operator, and trucked right on through it. Another thing I heard a long time ago is fix your business model at operating expense in a down market. That way, in the down market, you're not out of business. But in the up market, it's just more money, and that's how I set my business model.
And the goal should be, and if you do choose to go with new equipment, your goal should be getting that sucker paid off as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Because it does. I got 2 trucks that are paid off. 2 trucks that are paid off. I'm getting ready to have 2 trailers that are paid off. And I'm going to tell you what, man, it is a game changer. Huge.
I'm close to getting mine paid off. If COVID wouldn't have happened, mine would be paid off right now. That messed all my plans up. And then I came home. Then I came home for 6 months and made me lazy. That's the first time I've had time like that off. Well, my wife looked at me. When I formed my authority, I took 5 months off. But COVID happened, and I got lazy, so I used all my monies to sit around the house and torment some other YouTubers. But I hadn't got back on the ball like I should have been. It should have done been paid off, but I'm close.
Right. Sorry, I told you I keep offering you freight, man. So let me know when you're ready to haul it. So.
I got a dedicated account. I'm thinking about running Blue Link hooked me up with one coming out of Tennessee going to Dallas area. So that's pretty close to the house. Now, if I can get towards St. Louis, I'll come run your stuff for you because that's a damn good run.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's still there. So, and of course, I'm trying that new thing that me and you talked about with Convoy. I'm trying that out to see how that's going to work out. So there's just so much out here to do right now that I don't. Yeah, it's just so much to do. It really is. There's so many different ways.
I really
money
need to come out there. I really need to get busy. I've been trying to spend as much time home for the summer.
Yeah.
Before the cash man goes back to school, he goes into middle school this year, man. But I've been trying to spend all I can here, and school starts up. The wife's gonna miss me.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody's got any questions, man, I'll answer some questions. If not, I'll let you do what you're gonna do, brother. And I'm gonna drink the other half a gallon of that Gatorade I got.
Well, I believe we're about to watch some Vampire Diaries, man. We started over the Vampire Diaries series. Don't you? I watched that. We watched that.
Don't you yell at me?
I'm yelling at him.
You're yelling at him? I thought you were yelling at me again.
I can't say nothing because my wife did make me watch that, and honestly, I did get into it, and I was wanting to.
It's pretty good, man. The only thing I don't like about it is they're whiny little bitches, and I can say that now because most people ain't gonna stay this long to the end of the video. They're whiny little bitches. They're just like, shut the hell up, man up.
Well, have you watched the other series that are attached to Vampire Diaries?
The originals. The originals about us. Now
we haven't watched the other ones, though.
I don't think we watched the other ones.
We will though.
But the good thing about rewatching the Vampire Diaries after I don't know, we lived in our apartment. That was 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You go that long without watching it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching. I know most things that's about to happen, but I can't remember how the series transpired. I can't remember much. It's like watching it for the first time again.
Speaking of, you're a Kenworth man, right? Yeah. I'm gonna jerk your chain a little bit. Have you watched that great Oscar award-winning Kenworth sponsored and advertisement movie on Netflix, Ice Road?
Yeah, and I thought that movie was badass, man. I want one of those trucks where I can turn it over and flip it back up. That's a tough truck, man. You know why I drive? Hold on. You know why I drive a Kenworth?
Because it's got an undercover rotator in it somewhere.
Because those boys on Peterbilt's need heroes.
Oh God Almighty! You know what? I would believe if I didn't know trucking and I heard that statement right there and watched that movie, I would believe it. I would believe it right there.
Right.
I mean, any 990 that can all of a sudden transform into a 680 before it's going to crash, and then all of a sudden turns back into a 990, outruns an avalanche hauling 80,000 pounds. I'll be like, yeah, they're heroes. Yep.
Yeah, some of that they needed some real truckers in the cast, or not the cast, but into the directing. Yeah, thanks, wife. But I like the movie. Yeah, I like the movie. I just don't like how they portrayed you can just turn over on the ice and flip it back over. Like, come on, man. These trucks, they're tough sitting on all wheels, but if they go over, they're just crushed. And can I get somebody to post Spectre's channel in the comments? Mr. Tillman's wanting to know your channel.
Yeah, I don't have a wrench in yours, so I don't think I can post it. But yeah, they can look it up. It's under.
Hey.
Well, he hasn't commented. I don't know how to
comment, Spectre, so I get the wife to give you a wrench.
Dang, I've been giving them out like candy.
Yeah, see, I don't ever go live, man. I ain't got a lot of people with a wrench in here.
I feel like you don't watch a lot of lives. I do.
You watch everybody's lives.
I am up to date on all the YouTube business.
Oh Lord.
Like the good and the crap.
There he posted.
I got him.
Right. Did she wrench me?
She wrenched you.
I wrenched you.
She wrenched.
There it is. All right, I put my link in there.
All right, guys. I'll also, after this is over with, I will put it up in the. I'll pin it in the comments. And Nevada, what's up, man? What's up? That way, anybody else wants to go check him out. Life is good. You still watching, man?
Yeah, y'all welcome. I enjoy. I invite anybody to come over and watch. I mean, I'm not the sometimes I'm not the most politically correct person. I'm more of the, you know, that's that, once again, it's that veteran in me. I'm going to tell you the truth up front, and you may not like what you want to hear, but it's probably what you need to hear. So
yeah, you got to get the truth, or give the truth, or you're going to steer somebody wrong.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just trucking. Appreciate you, brother. A lot of people out there, they sell a pie in the sky and they get you all hopped up, and then they fuck up your future. Pardon the French, but it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I don't want. I'd rather tell somebody the honest truth, let them make the best decision they can, rather than sugarcoat it, and then they're like, they look around like, what just happened? So.
Yep. First time. All right, brother. I'm gonna get on out of here. Everybody, I appreciate you watching, and I guess that's about it. Unless somebody has any questions I'm not seeing.
I'm good, brother. Whenever you want to end it, man.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. And guys,
right.
Appreciate you watching. Give us a big old thumbs up and subscribe to both channels. See you. Bye.